Who would have thought a few words could mean so much? From spot-on predictions to a moment of truly grim foreshadowing, these are some of the most important lines of dialogue in Young Sheldon.
I think my husband's having a heart attack.
Kicking off Young Sheldon with George's death would have been a surprise move from the creators. They didn't quite go down that path, but they certainly teased the fate of Sheldon's father early on. Mary finds him having a heart attack during the show's third episode, Poker, Faith, and Eggs. George finishes that episode on the mend, but this line no doubt reminded fans of the Season 7 Big Bang Theory episode The Thanksgiving Decoupling, in which Sheldon reveals that his dad died when he was 14 years old. He doesn't mention how his dad died, but Mary's line in Young Sheldon Season 1 hints at the eventual cause of his passing. This wouldn't be George's last close call either. He has another heart attack in the first episode of Season 5. His medical emergency occurs while he's out with neighbor Brenda Sparks, right as George realizes that he might have romantic feelings for her. It's another moment that has more meaning if you've seen The Big Bang Theory. In the Season 10 episode, The Hot Tub Contamination, Sheldon says that George cheated on Mary and that they didn't have a chance to talk about it before he died. Ultimately, this heart attack is just another sad reminder of the tragedy that will occur in Season 7 of Young Sheldon.
I bet when you grow up, you will be surrounded by lots of smart, wonderful friends.
This line is Mary's prophecy for Sheldon in the Season 1 episode Dolomite, Apple Slices, and a Mystery Woman. Sadly, the 9-year-old doesn't believe that he will ever find the perfect friend group. His doubt is the product of a failed road trip with his friend Tam and a 17-year-old girl named Libby, who is Sheldon's first crush. His excitement over their adventure is crushed when Libby reassures Mary that she has babysitting experience. The conversation makes Sheldon feel lonely, but Mary tells him about her hopes for his future, a nod to the friend group he will join on The Big Bang Theory. Of course, Sheldon doesn't agree. He finds making friends almost impossible, and it's sometimes hard to watch. For example, he plans a Nobel Prize ceremony listening party that no one attends during the Season 2 episode A Swedish Science Thing and the Equation for Toast. But that episode's ending reminds us that Mary's prophecy from Season 1 will one day come true, as viewers get to see young versions of Leonard, Raj, Howard, Penny, Bernadette, and Amy on screen.
It was my dream to win the Nobel, and I'm not going to. I bet Sheldon will.
Sheldon's big Nobel Prize win was foreshadowed by his mentor Dr. John Sturgis during the Young Sheldon Season 2 episode, A Swedish Science Thing and the Equation for Toast. As Sheldon anticipates hearing the Nobel Prize ceremony over the radio, Dr. Sturgis appears to dread it. The ceremony causes him to reflect on his life and the fact that his Nobel Prize dream will probably never come true. But the love and patience of Sheldon's Meemaw, Connie, helps him realize that even if he can't win, there is a possibility that his protege will. Dr. Sturgis continues to help Sheldon throughout the series, however. Upon receiving the Nobel Prize in the Big Bang Theory in the Stockholm Syndrome, Sheldon notes that his accomplishments are not his own. While he focuses on the support of his family and his friend group, we now know that the support he got from Dr. Sturgis was likely also on his mind.
If it's funny, it's Bazinga. Interesting.
Bazinga is not a catchphrase that Sheldon picked up in adulthood, nor is it a word that he made up on his own. The Young Sheldon Season 2 episode, A Stunted Childhood and a Can of Fancy Mixed Nuts, shows him searching for practical joke items when he comes across toys from the Bazinga Novelty Company. From then on out, Sheldon starts telling jokes and conducting pranks with Bazinga as his ultimate punchline, hoping the word will indicate to his family that his antics are all in good fun. However, on some level, Bazinga could also be Sheldon's way of creating his own superhero-like catchphrase. He becomes fixated on superheroes when he discovers his first comic book during Season 1's A Therapist, a Comic Book, and a Breakfast Sausage. Sheldon realizes that his character traits relate closely to that of the mutants in X-Men, pointing out how they, like him, are misunderstood by the world. The episode also points out that many supervillains are scientists by profession, essentially meaning that his life could go two ways, and suggesting it would have been all too easy for Sheldon to walk a much darker path. As we know from his Nobel Prize win, he goes on to use his powers for good.
It was the best graduation party I had ever been to, until the one we had for my son, Leonard Cooper.
Sheldon refers to Leonard and Penny as dear friends during his Nobel Prize speech, so it's no surprise to learn that he named his son after his best friend and roommate. He apparently wanted Nimoy to be his middle name, but Amy wasn't on board with it. The reveal of his son's name is a happy surprise shared with fans, as Sheldon recalls fond memories of his and Missy's graduation party in the Season 4 episode Graduation. It's later revealed in Season 7's memoir that the Hofstadters have stayed in touch with the Coopers, with Sheldon mentioning that Penny has babysat his daughter and encouraged her to attend acting classes. What's interesting is that it appears as though young Leonard has not followed in the footsteps of his father or his namesake. The series finale of Young Sheldon reveals that Leonard Cooper actually prefers sports, with Amy preparing him for an upcoming hockey game. Sheldon is reluctant to attend the game, and it's through that reluctance that Amy reminds Sheldon of the core lesson that has always been at the heart of The Big Bang Theory and Young Sheldon. Just support and love each other, despite your differences.
I taught Sheldon science.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
This moment between Hubert Givens and Brenda Sparks in Season 7's funeral provides a little comic relief during a very sad episode. Years later, as seen in The Big Bang Theory Season 12, Sheldon would reveal that he is still upset with how Mr. Givens treated him, noting his resentment in a draft of his Nobel Prize acceptance speech.
As I always knew I'd wind up in this stage, and everybody who said I wouldn't looks pretty darn foolish right now. I'm talking about you, high school science teacher Mr. Hubert Givens.
While many of the teachers at Medford High were frustrated by Sheldon's attitude, Mr. Givens and Sheldon particularly annoyed one another. However, it's notable that Mr. Givens does actually attend George's funeral in the final episode of the show, so he's clearly not totally heartless. The draft of Sheldon's Nobel Prize acceptance speech suggests that Sheldon used his clashes with Mr. Givens as motivation throughout his career. He may not have agreed with his teacher on much, but one way or another, Mr. Givens helped him reach the heights that he did.
Got everything under control.
This is Georgie's promise to his late father in Season 7's funeral, and it sets the scene for the spin-off series Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage. The show will fit into the portion of the Big Bang Theory timeline that occurs shortly after George's death. Georgie has done plenty of growing up throughout Young Sheldon, from learning how to be an entrepreneur in Season 3's Quirky Eggheads and Texas Snow Globes, to becoming a father in Season 6's A Launch Party and a whole human being. Now that George is gone, he's focused on taking care of Mandy and their daughter Cece. But it's not just those two he ends up caring for. Not much is known about what happened to Sheldon's mom and sister right after George's death. However, an older version of Georgie filled in a few of those blanks during Season 11 of The Big Bang Theory. In the episode, The Sibling Realignment, he tells Sheldon how hard it was to take care of everyone as Mary grieved and Missy navigated the rest of her teen years. Rick and Reward will not be appearing in the spin-off, but there is the possibility that other Coopers could appear. The show will follow the young couple as they navigate the ups and downs of marriage while learning all about Cece's budding personality. It seems that Georgie is set to find out that saying you have everything under control and actually having it are two very different things.
It's what's supposed to happen.
These are the heartbreaking words that Mary utters while giving the eulogy at George's funeral in the tear-jerking Season 7 episode Funeral. George's death was essential to the Young Sheldon story, since the series is meant to end with Sheldon's departure for California. But it was a moment that many had been dreading. Lance Barber's performance as Sheldon's dad made the tragic turn of events even harder to swallow, since he turned the supposedly no-good character into a lovable figure. The thing is, it was supposed to happen. The show's creators knew right from the get-go that George would die in the spin-off. The Young Sheldon Facebook page paid tribute to Barber's portrayal of the character by sharing Chuck Lorre's vanity card from the end of Season 7, Episode 12, A New Home in Traditional Texas Torture. The card notes that the decision regarding George's death happened 18 years ago. The statement said, "No one could have thought that someday we would regret that decision." The statement went on to reveal that there were plenty of tears on set while filming the scene in which George is revealed to have died. It read, "A reminder that we had fallen in love with a fictional character, which is itself a reminder to love the characters in our life who are real." In this episode, Mary also says that she wishes that George was still there. Technically, he actually was. Eagle-eyed fans spotted Lance Barber crashing his own funeral by disguising himself as a woman. He can be seen with silver hair and spectacles around 14 minutes and 52 seconds into the episode. A Young Sheldon spokesperson told Deadline that Barber just surprised everyone and showed up like that.
"I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be."
This is the last line of Young Sheldon said by the title character as he walks onto the Caltech campus. Adult Sheldon does vow to always remember the special things that make East Texas his home. But heading to California means the start of a new beginning that has so many adventures in store for him. After his studies are complete, Caltech becomes a workplace that he will share with Leonard, Raj, and Howard. Of course, this also includes the iconic lunchroom scenes which, in The Big Bang Theory, sometimes mark the starting point for endless pop culture debates, or the dramatic turn that could kick off a storyline. Ending on this note is a nice sentiment for fans of The Big Bang Theory, and it's also something that the creative team had been planning for quite some time. This is according to Entertainment Weekly's interview with showrunner Steve Holland, who explained, "Sheldon going off into his new life was always our idea, to end it on a hopeful, upbeat note. We know that his new life is full of family and friends, and good things happen to him, so that always felt like the right last moment." It turned out to be a good move. Hearing Sheldon say that he's exactly where he's supposed to be is so much sweeter when we as viewers know that he's right to feel this way.